It is really not surprising at all that PC budget building is as popular as it is right now, and that's because the price of hardware continues to go up and the amount of savings that people have in their bank continues to go down. So if you were somebody who wanted to get into PC gaming and you don't have like $1,200 to spend, it makes sense that you're gonna wanna go the budget route. And luckily for you guys, that's an area that I excel in. But here's the thing, I get most of the deals that I use in my budget builds on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm able to do that because I live in an area where the Facebook Marketplace is saturated full of really good deals that I can go pick up on a regular basis, but not everybody can do that. So what if you don't have a Facebook Marketplace, you don't have a lot of money to spend, and you wanna build a PC? Well, you're gonna turn to eBay. And that's what I did for this video, and I went and picked up this. Give me 1 second. So this is an ASUS Z170 motherboard. There's an i7 6700K in the CPU socket, and we have 32 gigs of DDR4 memory. And we also get an EVGA GTX 1070. Give me a second, I gotta lay this down without destroying the motherboard. Now for the $180 price tag that I paid for all this, I've just taken care of the motherboard, the CPU, the RAM, and the graphics card needed for the PC that we're gonna be putting together today. And I can now purchase the rest of what I need off places like Newegg or Amazon to finish this build up. Now, typically when I record one of these videos, I already have all of the parts necessary to put together the entire PC. But unfortunately for this video, that is not the case. And it's because it's Thanksgiving time right now as of recording this video. And I also work at a bakery. So the amount of free time that I have right now is extremely small. And on top of that, I am going out of town for Thanksgiving and I'm taking my whole family with me. So I have to get this done in like segments. Now I do have the bulk majority of what's going into this build coming in, I think it's probably about an hour or two. It's coming from Amazon. And when that gets here, we will continue and I will show you all of the parts, well, at least most of the parts that are gonna go in today's build. So that didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was going to. It's probably only been like 30 minutes since I went over this hardware right here. But let's move this over and let's go ahead and get into the rest of the parts that are going into this build. All right, so got some cable extensions. These are very inexpensive. These will help make our PC look pretty kick-ass. I got a SATA SSD, Silicon Power 1 terabyte. I completely forgot that there is an M.2 slot on this motherboard. So that's my fault, but generally I would go M.2, but this will be okay. It'll still be fast and 1 terabyte, plenty of space. This is, this is a belt, but that doesn't go in the PC. We got a little airflow here. 6 Thermalright fans. If you don't know, Thermalright is pretty much the GOAT when it comes to building budget anything in the PC world. So I got some real good airflow for the case. Now I don't know if you've figured this out yet, but a case doesn't fit in a box this size. So we don't have the case just yet. We won't actually have the case until tomorrow, but I got a plan. This is a 500 watt power supply. Now, generally you'd wanna go with a little bit beefier of a power supply. You probably also wanna go for a little bit of a more popular brand of power supply, but we are building a budget system, and I think this is like $40 for this 500 watt power supply, and 500 watts is plenty enough for the hardware that's going into today's build, so we're gonna stick with this power supply here. And definitely not last because we don't have the PC, that'll be last, but certainly not least is the CPU cooler. Now, I'm really excited to use this CPU cooler because this is the Assassin Spirit, but it is their Vision type. So there is a small LED screen on the CPU cooler, and I'm really interested to see how this thing works out. Now we have everything but the case, but that's not gonna stop us from powering this system on and double checking to make sure that everything works. Now you can plug everything up and fire the system on outside of the case, and then you can go ahead and install your operating system and just double check that everything is working properly before you go ahead and put it into its final resting home, which is the case that will be here tomorrow. So let's go ahead and let's plug this up and let's see if it even works. So let's go ahead and get our motherboard all plugged up here. We'll start with the board and the power supply. We can make sure our system has power. You know, a lot of people hate on these Enjoydsgnn power supplies. I agree. I'm not here to tell you that this is the best power supply that you're ever gonna find. But what I will say is that I've used them like 20 or 30 times now and never ran into an issue. So we're just gonna keep using them until there's a problem. And whenever there's a problem, then we'll stop using them. A little CPU power here. Doesn't need to look pretty. It just needs to have power. Go ahead and get our SATA SSD all hooked up here. Pretty sure I've got at least 100, 200 SATA cables somewhere. So just give me 1 second. All right. SATA cables acquired. I only need one. All right, so we're gonna have to move this forward so that I can put the graphics card on it, because there is this lip here. It's gonna hang over the desk, so you're gonna wanna make sure that it is at least halfway decently far forward. Oh, is it gonna fit? Get in your home. I think it's in. All right, let's add some power to our graphics card here. That doesn't feel right. It didn't sound right when I was plugging it in. All right, Ryan, like you've done this before. All right, geez Louise. Motherboard, CPU, RAM, graphics card, power supply, storage, CPU cooler. I need a CPU cooler. I don't really want to add this CPU cooler. I have a different one. Let's go grab that. I'd rather use that to test this board. This poor Sama AIO, I've had it forever. It's just never found its home. It's always here for testing though. All right, now we're not gonna put thermal paste on it just because it doesn't really need it. We're not doing anything too intense. We're definitely not gonna be gaming on this thing. What we will be doing is operating system download, plus we will put like Steam and all that stuff on there, so that way when I do have the system all put together, it's really fast. I can just go ahead and test everything. So everything's done. We just need a monitor. Go grab the monitor. All right, and there's our monitor, and I'll plug that in. You know, I probably could have like preset all this stuff up. It would have made way more sense, but it's just not me, man. All right, let's get the power supply plugged in. Is it gonna reach? All right, gotta go get the extension cable. Oh no, not my RGB lights. I guess like in the spirit of the holidays, let's go for like a little Clark Griswold. No! All right, so everything is ready as it'll ever be. Let's go ahead and turn the switch on, and luckily I don't have to short any pins because there is a power button on this motherboard. So let's go ahead and see what happens. This is always fun, this part where you have to wait to see if you get an image. And it turns off. Oh, and it turned back on. It seems as though we might have some kind of issue. Everything's plugged in correctly. The only LED on the board that is lit up is the boot device LED, and that shouldn't be an issue. Wait. Y'all don't want to tell me this thing posted an image? It's rude. It is always a good feeling when you've plugged up your entire system and it boots first try. It's just a magical thing. Now, off camera, I will put our operating system, Steam, and drivers, and all that stuff onto the storage drive, so that way tomorrow when our case arrives, we can go ahead and put that thing together, and then we can come up with how much we're going to sell this PC for. Oh wait, I don't think I actually explained myself earlier. This is the PC Build Up Challenge, the series where we build and sell gaming PCs so that we can save up the profits earned from selling those PCs to eventually get to the point where we build an absolutely amazing top tier gaming PC that I just give to one of you. So after you and I build this system right here, I will go over where we stand in total funds to go ahead and build that absolutely epic PC that's gonna be sitting on your desk eventually, and you and I can play some Call of Duty together or something. So we've probably got about 24 hours before the case will be arriving here tomorrow so that we can put this thing inside of its brand new home. But in the meantime, I do need to make sure that this thing is ready to go, so I have my work cut out for me. Now, it'll feel like 24 hours to me, it'll feel like moments for you, but I will see you in just a second. It's here. Whew. I'm gonna take this off of here because I feel like it's just gonna fall. I had an old graphics card on top of the CPU cooler just so I could add a little bit of pressure there while I was downloading everything. It worked out well. So luckily for us, it took less than 24 hours to get here, so we're able to begin the building process pretty much the second I got home from work, which is really, really nice because I am really, really tired and I would love to get this thing all assembled before I just pass out in my computer chair. But what we're gonna be using today is the Thermaltake View 270. Now, what you need to know about this case is it's the exact same style case as every other style case that's being made right now. It's an aquarium style PC case. Everybody loves these things, so we're gonna keep using them because that's what sells. And you know, there's 3 included ARGB fans in this case. It's a winner. It's a winner. At least I hope it's a winner. I haven't built in this thing before. So let's crack into this thing, shall we? Honestly, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. While I was looking for a case for this one caught my eye because I like the idea of the bottom of these types of cases being perforated, because I am a huge fan of having fans inside of my builds. I like a lot of airflow, and I like to put fans down at the bottom of these cases. And usually with this style case, these are all blocked off with just solid sheets of aluminum, and you don't get a lot of airflow. And I really wanted to maximize the amount of airflow inside this PC, and I wanted to create a lot of color inside of this PC because this is an older style PC. I mean, we don't have a very current generation PC that we're building, so in order to make a little bit of money off of this build, we're gonna need to make sure that this thing looks really awesome as well as performs pretty well so that people can have a pretty decent gaming PC while also having some really nice eye candy on their desk. But now that everything is here, the software that we're using and the operating system are loaded onto our PC already, we need to go ahead and put that inside of here, and we're gonna do it to some really awesome music. So let's get that build montage going. So today is actually day 3 of this project, and I am exhausted because I've been up since 2:30 in the morning every day for the past 3 days doing my normal job, then coming home and recording this video and building this PC for your entertainment. So there's no end to the amount of work that I will put in to entertain you guys. So if you guys could just do me a favor, click that subscribe button. It would mean a whole lot to me if you did. Also, on a side note, I did want to apologize if the build-up challenge content has been a little bit lacking lately. I know that I used to have a build-up challenge episode every single week, but unfortunately the market has been a little bit slow, so it's been taking me a little bit longer to sell the computers to get to the next project. So I do want to apologize for that. I've been trying to come out with some pretty fun content in the meantime while we were waiting for season 2 episode 4's PC to sell, and we finally did sell that computer for $520, and I think we had $81 left over in our bank account from that last build, so I don't know what the grand total is for that. Obviously, math is not my strong suit, so that means we had $621 in our bank account to build this PC right here, and I think that we did a pretty good job of putting this PC together, and I think it looks pretty darn good for a PC that only costs $428 to put together. That's right. This PC right here only costs $428, and that's a pretty small amount of money to get into PC gaming, and especially getting into it in style, because this PC looks really, really nice. Now, you could have built this system for a lot less by not spending money on 6 additional fans and just sticking with the 3 that came with this case, and you could have got a stock CPU cooler. I'm sure you could find one of those for free instead of spending $35 on this really cool Thermalright Vision CPU cooler. I think it looks
pretty sweet, and you didn't have to buy cable extensions. You could have just stuck with the, you know, cables that came with your power supply, and you probably could have built this PC for $350, which makes it even cheaper to get into gaming at an affordable price. Now, in a moment, I'm gonna go over where we stand in total funds to build the epic gaming PC that's gonna sit on your desk. But first, I wanted to go over some of the gameplay that you can expect from a PC that costs $428. So just like most PC flips, I test 4 games on the PC, and I try to start with the easier games first. Now, it is important to remember that when I test these flips, I push the system as hard as possible to see what is capable from the system. And I also test the systems like this one at 1080p. So in Forza 5 at a high preset, this system was getting an average of 81 FPS. Now jumping over to Modern Warfare 6 with a mixture of high to low settings, we're getting an average of 64 FPS. In Gotham Knights at a medium preset, the gameplay from this system was actually extremely impressive, getting an average of 82 FPS, which was wonderful to see. And lastly, for a game that this PC should absolutely not be able to play, but I wanted to play it anyways, I tested out Space Marine 2 with a medium preset, and we were getting an average of 49 FPS. Now, if I were to lower the settings down to, you know, low, I'm pretty sure we could have broken that 60 FPS barrier, but I didn't try, so one of you guys should buy this PC and test it out, and you just let me know how it did. Now, that is going to bring our grand total to $621 to build this PC right here, which this PC did, of course, cost us $428 to put together. That means after building this system, we have $193 left in our bank, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a list price on this PC for $540, and I'm gonna hope that I get like $480. $500 is what I would really like to get for this PC. That means we would have made $75 profit on this build. Now, it's not the most powerful build in the world. That's why I'm not pricing it at $600-700. I'm not trying to rob anybody, but I think that $500 is a fair price for a PC like this one, and it gets somebody who, you know, maybe hasn't ever had a gaming PC ever into PC gaming, and they can upgrade, or they can call me later and I can build them a much more powerful PC. Now, if we do get the $500 asking price for this PC, that will mean that we have almost $700 in our bank account, and you gotta remember that we started this season of the Build Up Challenge with $0 in our bank. So to go from $0 to almost $700 in 5 episodes, I think that's pretty good. Now we're chipping away at building your PC, and I'm really excited to do that because I have a design concept in mind for your PC that I think you're really gonna like, and I can't wait to get there. Now, I know that this isn't my typical way of getting videos done, and I appreciate your patience with me while it took me 3 days to get this video done, but I am an extremely busy man right now, and I am so incredibly exhausted, and I am so ready to just upload this onto my computer and then take a nice long nap. So if you did enjoy yourself, please hit the subscribe button as well as smash that like button. It is always appreciated. And I did want to say that no matter where you are in the world, I hope that you're having the most fantastic day. And I'm going to see you right here for the next video.